Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Micah, and this channel is dedicated to learning, teaching, and discussing everything about cybersecurity. So today we'll be continuing the Cloud Resume Challenge, and we'll be setting up HTTPS and DNS using CloudFront and AWS Certificate Manager. And we'll be enabling this for the static website that we created using the S3 bucket in my previous Cloud Resume Challenge video. And I'll give you a brief background on what CloudFront is and some of the benefits from using it, and then we'll jump straight into the implementation phase, so stay tuned. So I did mention ACM or AWS Certificate Manager in the intro, but it's pretty self-explanatory. It's just a way for us to manage SSL or TLS certificates within AWS. So what is CloudFront? Amazon CloudFront is a content delivery network, and it's designed to deliver data, videos, and APIs globally through a worldwide network of data centers called edge locations. And these edge locations give us the ability to cache and serve content, which in turn improves the performance by providing the content closer to where the user or consumer physically is. So some of the benefits of using CloudFront are global reach with low latency, which we already discussed, enhanced security, so it comes with out-of-the-box security features like AWS WAF, AWS Shield, DDoS protection, and of course you can enable HTTPS for secure content delivery. And of course, cost efficiency. So with AWS, you have a pay-as-you-go model. You only pay for what you use. And lastly, you can customize your content delivery. So you can customize the caching behavior, URL access, enable geo restriction, and this allows you to manage content delivery based on your individual needs. So before you start this challenge, you want to make sure that you have two things. One, the aforementioned static website that we set up. Again, reference my previous Cloud Resume Challenge video for that, and a DNS name. So you can either use Cloudflare or Namecheap or some third-party DNS registrar, or you can use Route 53, which is AWS's version of a DNS registrar. So go ahead and do those two things before you get started. All right, so the first thing is setting up our certificate, and we're going to type in Certificate Manager into the search bar here. And we will request a certificate. So hit that, request a public certificate. So my domain name is zenithdata.com. I'm going to add another name to the cert with the www prefix. And we're going to choose DNS validation and just the default for the rest, and then we're going to hit request. And we should get back two CNAME names and values that we're going to enter into our DNS or domain registrar. So it says pending validation until we actually enter them again into our registrar. So let's go ahead and copy the CNAME for the first record. We're going to hit add record, and every registrar is a little bit different, but it should be pretty similar. So the name, I'm going to turn off the proxy, and then the value. Then we're going to hit save, and then add a second record for the second record provided to us by our certificate manager. And again, CNAME, name, and value. All right, so this may take a while for the verification to finish doing its thing. So I'm just gonna cut right here and come back whenever the status changed to validate it. All right, so that took about 2 to 3 minutes, not bad at all. So the next thing we're going to do is set up our CloudFront distribution. So let's search for CloudFront in our search bar up top. And we're going to hit create distribution. All right, so from here, we're going to choose our origin domain, which is our static website, and it will prompt you to use the website endpoint. So we're going to do that. And this should coincide with the record from your S3 bucket, and you can just verify that real quick. So it is the same as we can see here. Leave those settings default, and we're going to use redirect HTTP to HTTPS. The allowed HTTP methods will be get and head, and then everything else should be default here. We're going to choose not to enable WAF, and we need to add those 2 domains from our ACM record from earlier. So again, this is my domain name. So I'm going to add Zenith data and then the prefix from earlier, just like before when we were creating the SSL certificate. And then I'm going to select the certificate from before.
Psych!
All right, so I made a mistake. So just make sure that your certificate is in the correct region for your use case. So I had mine in Oregon, which was like US West or something. So I just went and deleted that one out of the region and then recreated it. Same domain names and the prefix in the correct region. And I didn't have to update Cloudflare with anything. It was the same exact CNAME records for both the name and values for those 2. So that was cool. So I went ahead and updated that. So here is the certificate, and we're going to use the recommended security policy, which is the latest version of TLS. And everything else I believe can remain default. Or actually, let's change the default root object to index.html or whatever you named your root object for your website. For me, it was index.html. So this is the main page that you see when you navigate to the website. And we're going to hit create distribution. All right, so now we need to update our DNS CNAME records, or add 2 more in Cloudflare or whatever registrar that you're using. So let's go to the DNS tab. Actually, let's copy this distribution domain name. So copy that, go into Cloudflare or your registrar of choice, and we will add, there's actually a recommendation up here to add a www record. And you saw that we added that for the certificate and for our CloudFront distribution. So we're going to do the same here. So CNAME, www, and we can use the @ sign for the root, which is just Zenith data. So it will resolve whenever we type in this prefix with our domain, it just resolves to our domain. So hit save. And then we need to add 1 more for our distribution. So add record, CNAME, and we're going to use @, which just again resolves to our domain name, and the target, which will be our CloudFront distribution. So we can test our CloudFront distribution and just make sure that the site is up and running by navigating to it in another tab. And you see that worked. So hopefully our CNAME redirect will work as well. And we don't need the HTTPS. So hit save. And I'm not sure how long this will take, but it might take a few minutes for DNS to do its thing. Oh, maybe not. All right, cool. Yeah, first try. Perfect. So yeah, that's it for setting up HTTPS and DNS for our static website. So let's go ahead and look at what is needed for the next step of our cloud project. And we'll be implementing some JavaScript and we'll be communicating with a database. But the trick is we won't be directly communicating with the database. We'll be creating an API using AWS's API gateway and a Lambda function. So that should be pretty fun. And yeah, don't forget to like, leave a comment, and subscribe if you so choose. Doing so will help the channel out immensely, and we appreciate you for checking out our content. and I'll see you on the next one.